Alright, I'm coming. Sorry. Alright, sorry. I realized I'd only done a half cup of coffee. Normally that's what I do because I like to drink it hot all the time if possible. And I'm a slow coffee drinker. So, why does it say game is Borderlands 3? I changed the category to just entertainment. I'm not playing no Borderlands 3. We are simply entertaining the masses today. Perfect. Alright. Get that guy there. Save. Okay. Everyone, welcome back to Blue Bob's channel. Thanks for stopping on by. This morning's going to be a little different, kind of a live stream. Obviously, we're not playing anything. Today is more of a conversation. We've had both consoles showcase their prices, their specs, and so I figured it'd be kind of fun to talk about it and compare it to cloud gaming and what that has to offer. And then, of course, enjoy a little morning coffee. So go ahead, get some coffee. You got a minute or two. I'm just going to babble on. And then hit me up in the chat. Let's discuss the consoles, what we think, and kind of moving forward, what we can expect. So in the meantime, I am going to do a quick check. Apparently, my chat's not coming through. There should be a Streamlabs element. An element, just give me un segundo real quick. So that's the OG. Should probably fix these before the stream, but you know, sometimes it's just a little fat and lazy, and I apologize. It's that. It is. Is it an overlay? Yes. This one, right? Done. Oh, my camera's over it though. That makes so much sense. Why don't we go ahead and bump the camera all out? Look at it. Oh my gosh, that thing is huge, brother. Huge. Now chat is supposed to be inside of it, and I have no idea why chat is not. Meh. Maybe she's taking a hot minute, you know what I mean? Anyways. If y'all hit me up, have any questions, have any thoughts, let me know. I'm just going to transition that over. Chat might appear in there, chat might not. I apologize. It's been a while. I set up my Streamlabs like a year ago and have not dabbled or really changed it much except for when I got like some weird Valorant overlay package. I decided to throw that on. So that's about it though. That's my extent of it all. So, but in case you're wondering, we are currently sipping out of a hashtag Team Stadia mug, so that's pretty exciting. Pretty pumped about that idea. But yeah, guys, let's talk a little bit. All right, let's be honest here. So Xbox launched their console specs and price, and their Series S coming in at 1440p, up to 120 frames per second, a 512 gigabyte SSD storage, and a $299 price. A lot of people are focusing on the $299 price and how if you get that and you get the Game Pass Ultimate, which is $15 a month, and has hundreds of games, and it comes with xCloud, which is, you know, mobile gaming, and how that's just like, oh, this is it, like that's what we want to do. I mean, why? You know, my question is why? And the reason I ask that is because of the fact that 1440p is just a little bit over 1080p. It's not like they're jumping up to 4K. So you're going to get some enhanced visuals for sure. But is it worth shelling out, you know, $300 and an extra 60 FPS? Is it worth shelling out $300 for that? I mean, I think your average gamer, no, they're not going to notice 120. They're not going to notice really the difference between 60 frames and 120 frames. Not to mention, you also got to make sure that whatever monitor you're using, I believe, has to have like also a certain refresh rate, or else it doesn't matter. I remember watching the Linus Tech Tips when he had Shroud and a couple other guys come in, and they ran it. What's the difference between 60 up to 240 frames per second, but also on different refresh rated monitors. So, again, I don't think that's really next gen gaming. That's not your next level gaming. 1440p, isn't it? And I think Microsoft needs to be held accountable for titling the Series S as next gen gaming. Because if that's next gen gaming, well then their Series X is next gen. You know, PS5 is next gen. Like, the Series S is not next gen gaming. Is basically what I'm trying to get across here. That's moral of the story. But let me know what you think. The Xbox Series X though, 4K support up to 8K, 60 frames up to 120 frames, 1 terabyte SSD, $500 price. That to me, that is a next gen console. All right, which comes with a next gen price, $500. But they got the specs to support it. You know, like, they're not just doing the same 4K and up in the frames and charging $500 for it. They are indeed bringing next gen gaming. Because to me, I believe 8K 120 FPS should be the title of next gen gaming. All right, that's got to be it. We already have 4K. We already have 60 FPS. You got to create a next generation. You need to have something better than the current one. If you just increase one of those, to me, that's a bunch of bahooey. But let me know what you guys think. I personally think 8K 120 FPS is next gen. Therefore, the Series S claiming it's next gen gaming capable, that to me is a little wonky. PlayStation 5 though. Now this one just released, so I'm not quite as familiar with the specs, but I did look it up. Yes, I believe it is also very similar to the Xbox Series X, and that is it is 4K up to 8K, and it will also support 120 frames per second. I think it has an 850 gigabyte SSD instead of a 1 terabyte. Its listing price is $499, so $500. However, PlayStation's digital edition, which is, you know, there's no CDs, which honestly, I would say 75%, if not more, of the US, like, besides going to like a GameStop and buying a used game for really cheap, people are going digital. All right, I buy all of my games digitally. Of course, now I play Stadia, but even before that, and I still do like look at Steam sales, Epic sales. Those games are digital. I don't buy physical copies. And the fact that they dropped the price $100 for the digital edition, I think the PlayStation 5's $399 deal is a pretty bomber deal for next gen gaming. All right, being that it is up to 8K, up to 120 frames per second. I actually did not see what the storage is. I'm assuming. Oh right, I should assume they would have a bigger storage, right? If they're going to be all digital, that would actually be very smart if they had larger storage on the all digital one. I don't think that they do though. Let's see. That article is PlayStation.blog. It's not telling me if there's any difference. I think it's literally just the disk drive's gone. So, but 850 gig SSD. Nice. Cool. Yeah. Perfect. Yeah. Supports a 4K on 120 hertz TVs. It will support up to 8K TVs, VRR, and yep. I saw 120 FPS somewhere in this article. Yep. So, but yeah, I mean, it's exciting stuff. So to me, I would almost say the PlayStation 5 Digital Edition is even better, even though it costs an extra $100 over the Xbox Series S. You're getting next gen gaming, but you're getting it $100 less than the Xbox Series X or even the PS5 non-digital edition. So that to me is truly, if you have to buy a console, which I don't buy consoles anymore, I'm over it. But if you have to buy a console for some reason, you got to scratch an itch, whatever it is, I would say probably the PS5 digital edition would be the way to go. But if you are an Xbox fan and you've always bought Xboxes and that's just been your thing, you've been a Microsoft, which to me, before I got PCs and got into that a whole lot, I went basically PC, Xbox, back to PC, is I was on Xbox. I've been on the Xbox train for, let's see, college, high school, what is that, like 7 years or so? So I know what it's like. But at the same, so I mean, if I were to get a new console, I'd probably get an Xbox to make it go with. Juan Castaneda, I'm thinking the PS5 digital and Stadia, and that's it. Nice. Hey, chat is working. Whoa, chat is explosively outside of its frame. I thought y'alls were tied together. Apparently, y'alls were not. I got it, dude. I got it. Thanks, Juan, for reaching out. Yes. There we go. Attach both of those and shrink it a little bit. Yeah, I would say if you are really digging both, Dr. Spaceman, hey man, how's it going? It's going good, Dr. Spaceman. Thank you for stopping by. Juan, if you feel like, yeah, you got to go for that console, I would say probably the digital edition is the way to go. Again, I don't have a console itch to scratch anymore. I'm on PC, so I got Steam games for days, and I rock Stadia, so, you know, and I love just the idea of cloud gaming. It's so hard to go back to Steam and downloading games and updating games and all that. So I'm really excited for what Stadia and cloud gaming has to offer going forward. But yeah, no, it has been cool though. I will say it has been cool to see people, to see the consoles coming out. I did a video super recently about kind of comparing the price because I know a lot of people were loving the Xbox All Access, you know, pass combination of the Game Pass Ultimate as well as, you know, paying on a monthly payments for the console. And I ended up breaking out the price, and I was like, well, for the Xbox Series S, it's going to cost you $240 for the console because it's $25 a month, so $15 for the Game Pass Ultimate, meaning $10 a month for the console, times 24 months, that's you're spending $240 for the Xbox Series S, so you're saving $60. That's a bomber deal. Like, awesome. The Xbox Series X All Access, doing the same numbers, it's $20 per month for the Series X, which turns out to be $480 over 2 years. So you're only saving $20. Meaning, if you literally probably wait a couple months or wait a month after the launch, there's guaranteed to be a deal. And if there's a $50 off Xbox Series X deal, or a discount or get 2 free games bundle package with the Series S, there's a chance you could actually save money by just waiting until kind of one of those deals happens over the All Access. But I think people are jumping over the fact because that's kind of that's the mentality, and that's who we are these days. We love monthly plans, all right? We love Spotify, Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus for days, you know, and Stadia, $10 a month. Again, this month I got 6 games to play, all right? It's definitely a subscription model is beneficial can be beneficial, I would say, to the consumer if they monitor it and they, you know, for example, if I haven't watched Hulu in 5 months, I need to cancel that. You know, being able to monitor and realizing, hey, I'm not doing this. Why am I still paying for it? And so that's what worries me about setting up a 2-year contract. So, Dr. Spaceman, my next gen console is Sabrina. Yes. So, Dr. Spaceman, quick question for you. I had this conversation with people in the Stadia Source group that we're a part of. So my understanding, when wow, just blanked on the dude's name. He just popped up in the Ubisoft Immortals Phoenix. Wow, am I even a Stadia fan? That's a great question. Bald dude. Why did I forget his name? Whoa. It's not John, is it? John Justice? Who is John Justice? Anyways, when the Stadia rep last year at the Stadia GDC, Phil Harrison, thank you. Look at that. You're popping off. When Phil Harrison, yes, you both are on top of it. Talked last year about being able to go up to 8K 120 FPS, basically flipping the switch. Boom, Stadia is upgraded to that. Never need to upgrade your hardware. I assumed that the CCU they sent with Stadia would have the same effect. However, talking to my Stadia Source group, and those guys, they said that the HDMI that's on the CCU can only handle up to 4K, which does make sense because I have bought HDMI cords and I made sure that they said they supported 4K. Does that feel like it's kind of going against a little bit the idea of not needing to upgrade your hardware? I'd understand if you're playing on like PC, you don't need to upgrade the hardware because as long as you upgrade your monitor, I guess maybe you need to upgrade your HDMI cable, but do you see what I'm saying? Like, does it seem like that's not exactly the whole not upgrade your hardware promise? Not that I'm against it. I mean, trust me, if I'm paying $50 for a new console as opposed to 500, I'm happy for sure. But I was just a little curious about that because I was under the impression that, hey, I'd get 8K gaming if I had an 8K TV and all of that. HDMI 2.1 runs up to 10K. Oh, cool. Awesome. Is that what our current CCU is? Yes, actually, I never thought about that. Yeah, no, exactly, and that's what I was curious about as well. I wasn't sure. It seems like the CCU. Oh, what? We have a merch thing popping up? Wow, that's big pog. And the CCU still, yeah, I mean, the CCU and Stadia controller is the best experience. I'm on 20 megabit internet, so I have a 4K TV, so I cannot play it on 4K because you have to have up to that 30 cap. So normally what I'll do is sometimes I'll force 720p or I'll force 1080p just to make sure it's not tempted to try to go above it. And I'll also game when no one else is here. So when I'm actually doing streams where I'm at right now, I'm actually streaming on 20 megabit internet and I'm streaming Stadia. So the fact that some people who have 60 megabits can't get Stadia to work blows my mind. I think that there's definitely an issue on the user end, not the Stadia end in that aspect. All right, hey, thanks Dr. Station for stopping by. Have a good one, man. Yep, no worries, bro. Thank you. What do we got, guys? What do we think about xCloud? xCloud's the next thing we should talk about. All right, xCloud. People be hyping over xCloud, which, you know what? Again, the idea, if they're able to merge their Game Pass with cloud gaming, like, why not? Like, 100 games a month, again, access to it. Sorry, that's the third part of our discussion today. Coffee. Like, that kind of a mentality and idea makes sense, for sure. But what blows my mind is the fact that people hated on Stadia because it wasn't the cloud. All right, you can't trust cloud gaming. They hated on Stadia because it's a subscription service. But somehow, some way, they're all happy about xCloud, which I believe is now bundled in with Xbox Game Pass, even though it's a subscription service and it's cloud gaming. And I'm just like, oh, brother, this whole double standard is just so frustrating. And it just shows that, like, some people dislike a platform and don't want to trust it, or I think a lot of people don't like Google. I don't know why. I really don't know why, okay? And let me tell you why I think Google is going to win the cloud gaming race in the end. Their infrastructure is mind-blowing, okay? The fact that you can Google from anywhere, and they have to have the data servers, the server farms, all of that, the edge nodes, the points, all of that, all over the world, so that people have access to Google wherever they are. But in my opinion, you guys, the biggest thing that they got the advantage over is Google is an internet company. They are internet-based. They reside in the cloud 100%. That is Google. Microsoft, software company, console company, now going into cloud. Now, don't get me wrong. When you're a gaming console, all right, you do have servers because you're hosting multiplayer games and such. So they do have that aspect going. In the last 20 years, they've been building and making it better and better to reduce lag and latency. But Google started reducing lag and latency when it was founded. Like, the whole time, their whole lifespan, they have been improving, expanding, enhancing online performance with Google. They also have YouTube, all right? And although YouTube isn't the biggest streaming service, it is the world's largest VOD, which is videos on demand service out there. I mean, I remember YouTube, it was like 15 years ago, 20 years ago. It was like super basic, no advertisements, which was awesome. And all that, and they now own, they own YouTube. YouTube brings in over $4 billion in Q1 of 2020. $4 billion, okay? That is basically more than Epic Games made. And the reason I'm bringing that up, because I had done an article or a video earlier about how if Stadia ported over a very popular Battle Royale game, whether it's Apex Warzone. I'm not gonna. I don't think Fortnite's. I think it's lost its popularity. But if they port over one of those games, they hosted a tournament. I compare them being capable of affording it and doing it compared to Fortnite, and Epic Games, because Epic Games hosted a big Fortnite tournament, where it was like the $30 million prize pool, and they ended up having like 240 million participants in like 200 countries. It was an insane number. But yeah, I think Stadia, if they could do something similar, they have the revenue generated from other places that they could easily pull something like that off. And I would love to, and I don't know, I should reach out to someone in Stadia, and I want to get someone on from like the finance team, and I want to talk to them and be like, guys, what is your relationship with Google? What is your guys' relationship with YouTube? All right? Are you simply just a subsidiary that is given a budget that you have to hit every year and you have to stick within it? Or are you able to just reach out and say, hey guys, we need to borrow $50 million to host a tournament that's going to possibly bring in $70 million over a 4-month cycle? Can they post and request those ROI or return on investments to their parent company, or is it, I don't know. For me, I'm a financial analyst, I'm a CPA, so the numbers is my bread and butter, and I love that. But yeah, what do you guys think about cloud gaming? When do you think that is going to become almost the new norm, if you will? Like, it's going to become kind of the next gen where consoles are gone. I mean, I personally think that Stadia Cloud Gaming, by the year 2022, is going to be the dominating cloud gaming platform. And I mean, honestly, if they keep going with how they're going with these free monthly pro games, if they increase it so that when someone joins, they're getting 30 free games for $10 a month, and then they're going to add to it. I know we used to compare when we first heard about Stadia, and their monthly subscription, getting a couple games. I thought it was just going to be like Xbox Live, the gold membership, where you got, originally, what was it, just like one game, and then they gave you 2 games, and then they give you 2 Xbox One games and an Xbox 360 game a month. And that's what I thought it was going to be at first. And it was looking like that at first. But now it almost seems like it's an Xbox Live Gold / Game Pass hybrid, where there's a lot of games. All right, it ain't just, you're not just monthly subscription, 2 games on, 2 games off. We're up to like 26 games right now that if someone came in, started a free trial, they would have access to 26 games. Is it going to be like the rise of like a Stadia Pass, where if you subscribe, you're going to have access to 100 Stadia games? And if you claim them, then when certain ones leave, you can still play them no matter what. And I don't know, if someone plays Xbox or has Game Pass, I had it for a hot minute. I do recall I had to install the games, but I don't know if I had claimed them and installed them. I believe when they leave Game Pass, then I lose access to them. But correct me if I'm wrong if you have Game Pass, because that'd be good to know. Because my understanding is when the game leaves Game Pass, it leaves your library, or you lose access to play it. And that's why it's nice about Stadia is you claim a game when Pro, as long as you're a Pro sub, you can play it even if it leaves the lineup, the game lineup. So I think that maybe if they can keep it up, even if it's just 30 games, and it's just 30 games a month, boom, 3 come in, 3 leave, $9.99 to start and hop in and get access to 30 games. And again, you don't need to go buy a console. We've talked about this. The best Stadia experience, in my opinion, and Dr. Spaceman's opinion, who's very, very important, is using the Chromecast Ultra and Stadia controller. But frankly, when I stream, I play on my PC, and I use mouse and keyboard, and it's totally fine. I mean, I did see that there was some sort of a, what is it called? A tool or a tip as far as like deactivating mouse acceleration, which is supposed to help with your Stadia experience. That's probably my reason why I keep missing a lot of headshots in like Zombie Army 4 in those games. It's probably not me. I mean, come on, have you seen? I mean, my goodness. I'm just kidding. It's definitely me. But yeah, it's definitely obviously possible to play mouse and keyboard. It works super well, in fact. I also love the fact that, hey, you like your Xbox controller. That's great. Plug it into your PC, and you can use your Xbox controller. It sounds like Sabrina is going to be maybe coming out. So Sabrina, in case you guys don't know, Sabrina is supposed to be Stadia CCU, basically next level Chromecast Ultra. That's what CCU means. Chromecast Ultra. So they're launching a new one, and this one might even have Bluetooth support, in which case you might be able to Bluetooth your Xbox controller or PlayStation controller. I don't know. I'm assuming PlayStation has Bluetooth capabilities with their controllers. I'm assuming. To your Sabrina, your Chromecast Ultra, and possibly use it for Stadia gaming. It's all just speculation, not confirmed. That's nothing that we are for sure heard about. At least that I have. Someone else may have. But that's the idea. Is you might even be able to know it now. In case you don't know exactly why Stadia is so beneficial using a Stadia controller, is the Stadia controller is literally linked into your Wi-Fi, which then goes directly to a Google data server. Bing! So like you're linked directly into a server and directly into your instance of your game. So there's no Bluetooth to TV to console to, like this whole line. It just goes controller, Wi-Fi. I hit the A button to jump. That goes to a server and back onto my TV or onto my Chromecast Ultra, and that's it. It doesn't go from my controller to the console, up, come back to the console, and come to my controller. So it eliminates that extra point, which is why it's such a much smoother experience, even though it's super smooth normally, and recommended to do the mouse or the controller, the Stadia controller, because of that Wi-Fi. It's not Bluetooth, it's Wi-Fi. I'm curious if Xbox would consider releasing a Wi-Fi controller for their xCloud. You know what I mean? Similar to Stadia, like, hey, if you're using xCloud, here's a controller that just directly links via Wi-Fi into our servers with our xCloud games, and now you have your latency has been reduced. Which I had heard there was some lag and some, obviously you're playing a game at 720p no matter what right now with xCloud on mobile. So, I mean, comparing that to a 4K cloud gaming experience, it just blows my mind. People are still, and I understand Stadia does not have as many games as xCloud or Xbox Game Pass, either one. But at the same time, like, oh man, the double standard of the hate on Stadia, which supports 4K, 60 FPS compared to xCloud's 720p. I mean, it was too silly. It was too silly. And the beautiful thing is that I doubt xCloud is going to have Cyberpunk 2077. I doubt it's going to get AC Valhalla, Watch Dogs Legion at launch. But the beautiful thing is that Stadia as a cloud gaming service will. Meaning I can game on my 4K TV day one these AAA titles. xCloud, cloud gaming, yes. 720p, meh. Not the next gen games right away, So just some more cloud gaming food for thought. Is anyone drinking coffee this morning? That's a question I think everyone in chat can answer. Simple yes or no question. In case you're wondering, we got the old Phoenix #Team Stadia mug going on. Got this mug from good old friend and colleague ReadyGamer1.shop. Alright, I'm going to pop this into the chat really quick here. If you go to this site, alright, this is going to be ReadyGamer1, and there is a Team Stadia specific section where you can get your own Team Stadia mug. Oh, I need to get those joggers. Nice. Go ahead and support and show the community that you are a part of Team Stadia. But yeah, I'm drinking some dark roast. The company is called Cafe Creole. I believe they're out of Pittsburgh, Virginia. It's an organic brand. Really yummy, really tasty. It's black coffee. I don't put any creamer and sugar in it. Learned it was much cheaper in college when you left out the cream and sugar. I remember I would have like some vanilla caramel creamer because I didn't like coffee that much. I'm dropping like $8 on this like creamer, and then I pour most of it in every time because I can't drink coffee. Like, yeah. Now looking back to it, I don't think I could stomach how much sugar is in that, but you know, that's all right. That's all right. Anyways, my question for you guys is, I mean, I keep throwing out questions. I'm an inquisitive individual. All right. If you could only use one platform for the rest of your life, and knowing that all future games are going to go to all of these platforms, which platform would you choose? Would you choose a Xbox, PlayStation, Stadia, or just PC? I guess, yeah, we'll just say PC. If all future games were going to all the platforms, no matter what, would you consider, like, which platform would you choose? And that's tough for me because if all future games are going but not all past games, I have a lot of Steam games that came out in the past that I've enjoyed playing a lot. Like Factorio, I've been playing that a lot. There's a game called Satisfactory I really like. I haven't played it in a hot minute, but I really like that one as well. So for me, that'd be tough. I mean, obviously, I'd probably end up just choosing Stadia, though. Because if you have to choose one platform, then again, if I want 8K support on my Steam games when 8K becomes popular, I'm going to have to upgrade my hardware. And that, to me, doesn't sound good. Again, if you want 8K, support, you have to drop $500 for a new console, or $400 if you do the PS5 Digital Edition. Basically upgrading hardware. I don't know. I'm kind of not a fan of having to upgrade stuff. I did one. This is hopefully my last final PC upgrade. I tried to go all out, bells and whistles. I spent $3,000, but we got 64 gigs of RAM. We got the NVIDIA GeForce 2080. I want to say 8 gig, super 8 gig. We got the AMD Ryzen 9 3900X. Basically, this PC is going to hopefully get me into cloud gaming and just cloud usage in general. So I do taxes on my personal computer. I edit my videos on this computer, and I game on the computer. So the idea is I have a higher end PC now, so video editing, oh my gosh, awesome. Okay, whenever I used to post like a 10-minute video to YouTube, that 10-minute video would take me about 40 minutes to render in my video editing software because my 8 gig of RAM on my old computer wasn't enough. So the app would crash multiple times. I would have to turn it down to 10% rendering speed just to render a 10-minute video and not have it crash. I posted a video yesterday comparing, again, the prices of the monthly plan of Xbox All Access. It was a 3.5-minute video. I think it took me 2 minutes to render at ultra high def settings. That would have taken me like 10 minutes. I don't even think I could have even done ultra HD or UHD settings. And again, as far as video editing, tax software, I'm like more and more stuff. Like QuickBooks is now online. TurboTax is in the cloud. There's a tax software, UltraTax, which is a tax software some companies use. That's in the cloud. So more and more things are in the cloud. Microsoft Excel, all that, Office 365, it's all in the cloud. Juan Castaneda, I wonder if School Stadia will offer some kind of replacement or discounted upgrade when 2.0 comes, since they mentioned not having to upgrade your hardware. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. I didn't even think about Stadia potentially sending it out. Possibly. That's a good point. It sounds like our current CCU should run up to 10K, I think, is what Dr. Spaceman was saying. So we might be good right now. And then I guess about next gen, I don't know what's next. 16K, do we just keep doubling? 4K, 8K, 16? If next gen 16, I doubt the CCUs would be able to handle that, so we would probably need a new one. In which case, it would be nice if they would offer to replace ours, especially if you're a founder. That'd be really nice. But yeah, no, that's a good point. I didn't even think about Stadia possibly offering a replacement or a discounted upgrade. That would be nice. Sorry, speak to text because I'm driving. No worries, man. No worries. It actually came through really good. That did come through good. So, but yeah, so I upgraded my PC one last time. It should last me until, like I said, I think 2022 cloud gaming is going to be big. All of the stuff I need for work will probably be in the cloud base, so I'll just need good internet speed. Of course, I'll want more than 20, so hopefully at that point we'll be moved out of here. But yeah, no, I think I think cloud gaming is going to be great, man. I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. These new consoles, see, it's funny. I don't know if Stadia already knew what these were going to be looking like because they announced the exact same specs back at the GDC last year that Stadia was going to be able to, when they upgrade it, be ready at the 8K 120 frames per second. Almost in line, or actually in line with the current next-gen consoles. So I think that maybe coming up here November 19th, we might see Stadia just flip the switch and offer 8K support, 120 frames per second. What I personally hope, and I really hope this is true, obviously they have upscaled games to 4K. I would love to see if they have convinced a developer or a handful of them. I mean, it sounds lame, but I would say like Destiny 2 developer. And the only reason I say them is because they were there in the beginning. They were, besides them and Doom Eternal are kind of the flagship games. If they convince Destiny 2 to upscale their game for Stadia to 8K native, I mean, no one really has 8K TVs yet, but if they could do that, that would be awesome. So not only could they offer support for it, because that's the big issue, these new consoles, they can offer support up to 8K and 120 frames per second, but until devs start actually taking advantage, that's the word we're looking for, advantage of the power of that, then we're just still playing at 4K, 1080p, whatever. So it'd be great if not only Stadia launched their new upgraded, specs for free to us, by the way. Again, I mean, if you want to, it's all this is for free. It's $10 a month if you want. Okay, you can get 1080p, 60 frames per second gaming for free. In fact, the other day they had NBA 2K for $5. Anyone could have bought it. Anyone. Base players, pro players. It wasn't a pro deal. It was just a sale. Right now, Borderlands 3 is $30, just like Epic Games, just like Steam. All right, you can go buy that as a normal player. I call them base players because that was the original thing. Now they're just called Stadia. So they're Stadia and they're Stadia Pro. Like, you can buy Borderlands for $30. All right, and if you don't own it, I recommend it. It's a great game. There's a lot of content. I'd go for maybe even like the Super Deluxe Edition. It's $50. You can buy that game and you can play it without needing a gaming PC. And let me tell you guys, I could not run Borderlands 3 on my old PC. All right, I couldn't. I spent $100 pre-ordering the Super Duper Deluxe Borderlands 3 edition, and my PC could not handle it, and I was super bummed. And that's another reason I was so pumped about Stadia. And truly looking back, I wish I had just not pre-ordered it and I'd waited for it to come out on Stadia. But my buddies were gonna get it on PC because like we had played Borderlands 1, 2 pre-sequel. So we really wanted it, so I pre-ordered it. But hindsight 2020, should have just waited. And that's the great thing, is that you don't need a gaming PC to run Borderlands 3 if you're using it on Stadia. You just need a computer. You basically just need a screen that has something that can run Google Chrome on it. That's basically all you need. Now, I do have a recommendation, that is make sure you have a good Wi-Fi card or a good internet kind of processing unit. I do think that also is a factor on my old PC because my newer PC I think has a dual port Wi-Fi card, and I think just the upgraded and enhanced Wi-Fi card has really optimized, and like it doesn't have as many drops in Wi-Fi because I also think it's the new Wi-Fi card. I'm not Etherneted in, all right. I'm not ported into the Ethernet. I have to use Wi-Fi, but I do have a nice little range extender, a little Google Home right next to me. I literally like put it right next to my right next to my PC. So, but I mean that again, guys, that's the beautiful thing about cloud gaming. Okay, and as soon as Stadia gets big enough so that they're mixing and matching, all right, they're going even head to head with Epic Game sales, Steam sales. Cyberpunk 2077 goes on sale for $30. Boom, it's on sale on Steam, Epic, and Stadia. Which would you choose? I'm gonna be honest, you guys. Even with my $3,000 PC, I'm probably gonna be picking up Cyberpunk 2077 on Stadia, even though in the current time I cannot game at 4K because of my limited internet connection. I will still get 1080p, which is what I get on my PC because I don't have a 4K screen. But as soon as I leave or move, or heck, I could take my CCU and controller somewhere, I can get up to 4K gaming on a 4K TV. And I can take it anywhere. And you guys have no idea how close I've been to switching over to like a Google Pixel. I'm an iPhone user. I want to game on my mobile device so bad. So bad. And just have that flexibility and the maneuverability. But I currently do not have that. We're hoping for it, though. We are hoping for it. Especially now that the whole like Apple is starting to unleash, although it's got super bad, a lot of caveats, and really it's just making it hard and kind of pointless as far as Xbox, or as far, not Xbox, as cloud gaming goes. But I think eventually Apple iOS will allow it on. They'll make it work somehow. Google will sneak its way in. But until that happens, buying on Stadia allows me to play on my PC at the 1080p, but then I can go somewhere else and play it. If I buy it on Steam, if I buy it on GOG, which is CD Projekt Red's own like kind of storefront, very similar to Steam, or Epic, I am stuck on my PC as the only way to play that game. One device, which frankly in the past has been, it's fine, right? Like, you're a PC gamer, you're an Xbox gamer, you're a PlayStation gamer, you're a mobile gamer. But Stadia and that cloud gaming is starting to bring it all into one scope of you're a gamer. All right, Stadia, okay? Let's say your buddy likes to play on controller, you like mouse and keyboard. For a long time, there was no crossplay. You guys never would have been able to play together. Recently, games have started to open up their crossplay capabilities. But still, we all know, like, controller has a little bit of aim assist, all that fun stuff, a lot of zing and zag going. But now, if your friend likes controller and big TV playing, they can play on Chromecast Ultra. You like to mouse and keyboard on a smaller monitor so you can see better? You can do mouse and keyboard, and you both can play together because you're inside of the Stadia server. Are you a mobile gamer? You like the 720p screen? You know? That's great. That's awesome. Ooh, big news. I hope this is Serious Sam 4. Oh man, what is happening? So guys, in case you're wondering, we will not be resting. Okay, so it looks like Serious Sam 4 is launching on September 24th. Okay, I need to send that over because we have not heard any news about it. So this is great because, again, this is with the whole COVID situation just not being good at all, and games basically, like, we weren't sure, games were getting delayed. I was a little curious about Serious Sam 4 because I thought that they had said September. I thought they had said August, but apparently they had said September. And yeah, I'm really excited for Serious Sam 4, guys. Serious Sam was one of the first games I remember ever playing and or watching being played. It was that, Diablo, Duke Nukem. I think those are the big three. Doom? Were we watching Doom at all? I think I do remember watching Doom, but Serious Sam 4 was a big one, so I'm excited to see Serious Sam. Sorry, Serious Sam was a big one. I'm excited about Serious Sam 4 coming out. Thank you. So I mean, I found that out on Steam announcement from the Crow team. Cool. Anyways, but Stadia is trying to bring people together. They're trying to bring people so that they become one genre of gamers. All right, again, if you like console-esque controller on a TV, go for it. Mouse and keyboard on a smaller screen, go for it. Maybe if Sabrina comes out Bluetooth, mouse and keyboard on a TV, question mark smiley face, go for it. You like to game mobile, touchscreen controls, go for it. Controller, go for it. You know, like, and you can all play together. And that is so stinking cool. So stinking cool. Juan, yeah, originally they said August, and then it got pushed back to September. That's what I thought, right? I thought that in the announcement back in like the April or July. I thought that they had said August as well. So, do you think that they're going to push back any other games there, Juan? I know what we're expecting, like Dead by Daylight and some others. I think, are we supposed to be expecting those in September as well? I hope so, man. I'd love to see new games. Did you see the Risk of Rain 2 dropping? Coming, as well as the Chronos Before the Ashes dropping December 1st. I personally am unsure if that's going to be a pro title or not. And the reason I say is I commented and I said that. Someone else was like, well, you know, what if the game dropped September 1st? Or not September 1st, but, they were like, well, Avengers dropped on the 1st, but that wasn't a pro title, so yeah, no. And I was like, yeah, well, Avengers is a $60 game, bro. I don't know if Chronos Before the Ashes is going to be, but if it's like a $30 game or a $20, Stadia could easily just throw that in as a pro title, you know? Again, no biggie. But I'm curious if that would be a pro title. Chronos Before the Ashes. But dude, we are getting more and more games, and I'm just so pumped. So pumped. Yeah. Super cool. But yeah, guys, that is a little bit of consoles, cloud gaming, and coffee talk. I hope they don't push any back. Yes, Risk of Rain and Chronos look good. They do. They do. Super excited. Man, all this talk of Stadia wants me, it's getting me wanting to play it. Sadly, I have to go do some yard work. Oh, yeah. I'm looking outside. We're up in the Pacific Northwest right now, and it is smoky as all get out. But my visuals, I'm actually have a better view of the mountain than I have in a while. I can't quite see it. But visually up here, it is much, much better. So we live in the Gorge, and it's basically a wind tunnel. It's basically a valley, and it's a bunch of wind. And so, obviously, if you look at any map of fires in the Pacific Northwest, like Oregon, basically just all flames. So we definitely have super bad smoke, but today is actually the best I've seen in like a week. So I'm going to go out and do some yard work, mow some grass, eat some weeds. Get it? Weed eater? Close. So, but yeah, guys, thanks again so much for watching. Juan Castaneda, thank you, my friend, for stopping on in and listening while you're driving. And yeah, man, hope to see you later on. Hope to see you again sometime. This was just a little bit of a coffee. Unfortunately, I don't think Chronos will be an immediate pro title because I believe it's getting released on all consoles on December 1st, and the devs probably want to profit a bit. That makes sense. Now, Juan, here's my... I guess I don't understand. So when a pro title, when it goes pro, does Stadia just make that happen and force them? Or does Stadia reimburse them for however many people claim the game? I was always under the impression that it's like Stadia saying, hey, we're going to buy however many copies people claim. So, let's say they release a game on Pro, and it's a $20 game, and, 10,000 people claim the game, then Stadia would shell out $200,000 to the developers and say, hey, we're buying 10,000 copies at $20 a copy. Or maybe they get a discount. I don't know. Here's money. Thank you for letting us put it into Pro. Or do they just take it and stick it into Pro and say, sorry, developer, you got to live with it? Because that would suck if that's what happens. But I don't know. Again, I'm not in the gaming industry that much to really know. But it is a curious thought I had. I always assumed they would reimburse developers, but it's a strange world we live in, you know? Or at least, like, pay them minus the 30% cut, so it's like, you know, 30% on $20 would be $6, so they just pay them $14 per game. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. I would assume they get a percentage of however many people claim the game, and I would think they would need the percentage of the devs. Okay, perfect. On the same page. I think we're on the same page. Awesome. Well, hey, thanks again there, Juan, for stopping by. Truly appreciate it, man. Drive safe, all right, wherever you're off to. And, yeah, enjoy the Thursday. The weekend is just around the corner, and we're going to hopefully... I'm actually going to be flying on Friday and going to the Midwest for some real estate. But hopefully we'll be back on Sunday or Saturday evening with some more gaming. Fingers crossed. So thanks again so much, Juan, and everyone for stopping by. Appreciate the feedback. Appreciate the hanging. Enjoy your coffee this morning. And until next time, you guys, remember, maximize those deductions and pay less in taxes. Thanks so much.